Avoiding feces may be luxury. Wild mice can't afford vertical line. Zoology Vertical line Science News. Subscribe. Archives Register. Log in. Atom Cosmos. Body Brain. Earth. Environment. Genes Cells. Humans. Life. Matter Energy. Molecules. Science Society. Other. ESN Kids. 09 Vertical line 21 Vertical line 13 Issue. Contents Collision Course. Scientists struggle to make windows safer for birds. The Tune Wreckers. Lousy singers make the pitch for scientific relevance. Subscribe. Give a gift. Renew. RSS feeds. Email alerts. Digital edition. Podcast. Past issues. Read articles, including science news stories written for students, on the SNK website. Contents Alien cart leap onto the scene. Invasive fish break people's bones and threaten native species. Video games. When Granddad wins. With some practice, people over 60 bested untrained 20-year-olds meet the new meat. Scientists made a hamburger without harming animals, but it cost as much as a house. Home/news. Avoiding feces may be luxury wild mice can't afford. In the woods, finding food mate Rumpapoopy location. By Susan Milius. Web edition, September 10, 2013. A+A, text size. In the woods, finding food mate Rumpapoopy location. By Susan Milius. Web edition, September 10, 2013. Enlarged. Mouse manners. Deer mice one shown in the wild may find droppings of other mice attractive and use them as a sign of a safe spot to eat instead of a hygienic warning to move elsewhere. Credit, Seni National Wildlife Refuge. Mice in the wild have no problem dining where someone else has pooped. Animals with higher standards of hygiene, reported in earlier studies, may not face the same dangers as small, hungry creatures scurrying around the woods. Feeding among feces of your own species raises the risk of catching nasty intestinal parasites, explains behavioral ecologist Patrick T. Walsh of University of Edinburgh. So far most tests of fecal avoidance have focused on hoofed animals. Horses, cows, sheep, reindeer and even wild antelopes tend not to graze in heavily poop-dotted areas. White-footed and deer mice, however, show no such daintiness of manners in a test in the woods, Walsh and his colleagues report in the September Animal Behavior. Wild mice may have more immediate problems, like starvation or predators that domesticated or just plain bigger animals don't. For the wild mice, Walsh says, fecal avoidance may be a luxury. Learning whether and when animals avoid poop helps clarify how parasites spread, an issue important for the health of both wildlife and people. So far no one has tested fecal avoidance for mice feeding in the lab, but research has shown that female lab mice tend to avoid the urine of parasite-infected males. To see whether mice in the wild dodge parasite risks, Amy Pedersen, a co-author of the study also at Edinburgh, designed an experiment with a long plastic box divided into zones, some of which had mouse droppings in them. In the experiment, researchers tested more than 130 wild Aromyscus mice, of either the Leucopus or Maniculatus species, held captive for less than a day in the mountains of Virginia. Mouse droppings by themselves, whether infected or free of parasites, proved more attractive than they were repellent. The mouse left to scurry that was more likely to hang out in the zone with droppings than would be expected by chance. In a risky world, the researchers imagined, poop might suggest a safe spot where another mouse had survived at least long enough to defecate. When researchers put seeds in the box, the mice ate just as many from a pile beside droppings as from a poop-free zone. For mice used to life in the woods, Walsh says, any chance to eat something is taken. Based on my own observations, I totally believe the Walsh results that mice don't avoid areas that are contaminated with feces, says disease ecologist Kathleen Logiotis of Union College in Schenectady, NY. She's studied the willingness of white-footed mice to dig out seeds from raccoon droppings despite the risk of catching a fatal parasitic roundworm. Comment. Citations. P.T. Walsh, Themacrylis and A.B. Pedersen. Fecal avoidance and selective foraging. Do wild mice have the luxury to avoid feces? Animal Behavior. Vol.86, September 2013, page 559. Boy. 10.1016/J.NBHAVI.2000